Well, hello. I know I look awful. This is not about me. Has never been. You guys know that Manson was invited by Kanye West. I'm not gonna talk about what I think about Kanye West or not, because I think there's a lot of positive things about him and some negative things. So just like everybody else. So he invited Marilyn Manson and this musician, the baby, to the stage, which it wasn't really a stage. It was a stage, but it was a replica of what it was Kanye West's childhood home in Chicago. So they did this listening party, which it's pretty much a stage. It's pretty much performing. It is performing. So what Kanye West did is he invited Manson when nobody else is inviting him to do anything. Pretty much like unfollow him from Instagram. I'm not talking about people like us, but his celebrity friends, and he's pretty much has been canceled from each TV show he was working on, or movie projects, or even his management. And what Kanye West did, whatever you think about him is irrelevant. In this case, I think it was super positive, and I think it's very symbolic because Kanye West, believe it or not, and Marilyn Manson share a few things in common. And the fact that the stage was the house, right, where Kanye West grew up, and also there was a cross. There was a cross about in the top of the house. I think it was very symbolic, and the fact that Kanye West lost his mom. We all know that because his career was not based on, but pretty much half of his songs are about the loss of his mom, how horrible it was after he lost her just suddenly after a surgery that is supposed to be bad. I don't know. That was always kind of suspicious to me, how Kanye lost his mom. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not gonna go into the whole Kanye West sacrifice and all that. But also Marilyn Manson lost his mom due to dementia, and he lost his dad, which was a big thing for him. And this guy has no brothers and sisters. He's an only child. Marilyn Manson, I'm talking about, lost both of his parents. I mean, there's a few things that I think they share in common. How controversial they are, and how people hate Kanye or love Kanye. It's like West and Manson are kind of like pretty much in that sense, very similar. I think it was a very emotional thing. The name of the album is Donda, which is the name of Kanye's mom. So the whole album is based on his mom and his faith, and how he is getting better at it, how he's processing the loss of his mother finally after 15 years or so. And it's a very, I would not say religious, but it's a spiritual album. So getting Manson there and not having him in the audience watching, but on stage with him. So it's like Kanye, the other guy, and Manson. So that to me is pretty powerful, because it wasn't just like a bunch of people and Manson was just there. It was Kanye and Manson and this third person, which is supposed to be the verse of Jay-Z in the song. But I would say Kanye West doesn't want Jay-Z on his stage. Don't blame him. And he put Manson instead. Manson and Kanye West collaborated before in a couple of things. So we can say, well, that's why. But that's not why. Because he collaborates with a bunch of people. But he chose to put Manson up there with him. And in a moment that nobody even wants to see Manson's face or read about him, because he pretty much has been canceled. And I'm not talking about YouTube, the community, people like us. I'm talking about out there, everybody else, and everybody in Hollywood, everybody in the music industry. He's not seen well at all. This is not a Johnny Depp Amber situation, at least not yet. It was divided, and Johnny was obviously, to me, is still innocent. And a bunch of people in Hollywood were on his side. Some people were on her side. This is not divided. This is pretty much, almost everybody is on Evans and Esme Bianco's side. And the whole Me Too movement and all that is very political and it's bullshit. So he's being canceled. And Kanye decides to just bring him up to his childhood house stage. But again, I think it's very symbolic. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's Kanye West doesn't do anything without thinking about it 100 times. He's not as crazy as people think he is, and also Manson. So I think in that case, they're very similar. Hate him or love him type of people. So that's what happened on Thursday night. I knew about it when it happened because I was just like so excited. I could barely sleep because I was so excited. I saw it in Colonel Kurt's channel, and I was like, oh my god, girl! And I posted a comment. So thanks to her, I saw it right away. I think around midnight, my time, and it already had happened. And it was a pretty cool setup because it's Kanye West, right? So it was over the top. It was a pretty good setup. Everybody was wearing black, and there were like limousine cars going around the house. And also he set up a bunch of vaccines for the shots to give to people to be vaccinated, because we know that a lot of people don't know how to do it yet. Whatever. I'm not gonna give my opinions of people getting vaccinated or not. But what I'm trying to say is it was a positive experience for people and for Kenya, and I want to think for Manson too. I haven't heard anything about how he felt about it or what he thought of it, but I think it's amazing. The detail of Manson wearing the makeup that he wore after Columbine, the makeup that he wore during the Hollywood era, I think is so, like, again, it's a hint. And he waited 6 months. I was saying he was going to wait 6 months. He waited 6 months last time. This is exactly 6 months after the first allegation happened. And it's kind of proving, I mean, we don't know what's going on in his head. He may be devastated. I think that this proves that he's still standing. He was there. He was not stumbling around. He looked healthy. Again, this could all be a facade. It could be fake. He's a performer after all, so maybe he is not okay and he's just performing. I don't think so. I think he's okay and getting better, and, like, if anything, is stronger than he was before, and able to show his face and be like, you know what? Because he could say, I'm not going there because I don't feel comfortable. I think people are going to throw things at me, whatever. But he accepted the invitation and he went. He didn't get paid for it. He just went out of his friendship with Kanye West, or also to prove a point. Manson was in the past asked about who he likes better. He likes Jay-Z or Kanye West better, and he said Kanye West. And he spoke publicly about how much he respects Kanye West because of his originality and how out there he is. So I think they share things in common. I am not saying that I'm going to go and buy a bunch of Kanye West albums right now. I've been watching his music videos. I've been interested in him as pretty much as a human specimen, because I think his brain is very cool in a way. And this might be and I'm not just saying this because he's friends with Manson. I'm always been interested in Kanye West, and it's beyond the music. I don't like that type of music, but I think he is a creator. He's an artist. He's an artist. He might be messed up on the head. He might be too cheesy. He might be cringy, but I think he's an artist, and Manson is an artist. And I think seeing two artists up there, two artists that people love or hate. And Kanye West has almost been canceled a bunch of times for saying things about Trump or things that he shouldn't be saying. And Manson is canceled. So I think it's very symbolic that I keep saying that word because it's important, that he invite him over, and he actually went. He didn't have to go. So that was a shock of just happiness and just coolness, all around it. And everybody that is into everybody that's in our side, let's just call it, we sound like a cult, but pretty much was happy. We all were happy, and everybody thinks different things about Kanye West, but on YouTube and around the people that like Manson and respect Manson and think Manson is innocent, we were all pretty content and happy about it. But guess what? I know I look awful, I have no makeup on. I am going to go live in a little bit looking like a different person, not like this. Or maybe I can just do it now while I talk. Maybe, I don't know. Just drinking my coffee, waking up, just now. I wanted to go on Thursday or this weekend to cover this, but I have my children with me, and it was not going to be appropriate to me sitting on the computer and talk about Manson. Did not have the energy for it, and I didn't want to do it either. But I think it's important to just get it out somehow, even in a few minutes, even looking like crap. I know 3 other channels cover it. And the thing is, I'm going to say again, a couple weeks ago, I mentioned something, and people comment also on my videos and all the videos. How come you guys are the only ones talking about this? How come there's only 3 or 4 women talking about it, and that's it? How come? And I mentioned why the big channels, the big boys, they're talking about Johnny for the last 2 years and have hundreds of videos on Johnny and Amber. Why they don't talk about Manson? Why they're so scared of? I said that 2 weeks ago. And you know what happened, which is crazy? It's just a coincidence, I guess, but I think that was like the energy. We were all talking about it. Why they're not covering it? Why they're so scared? Why this is so political? Why? And then Entertainment Hacker posts 2 videos on Manson. And now he thinks Manson is innocent all of a sudden. I'm kind of throwing shade, I guess, because I think that's like, okay, well, you're getting late to the party. You're coming now to defend a guy, or not defend him, but just put it out that he might be innocent way after the allegations, when maybe if you were so into defending men and justice for abused men and all that, well, maybe they should have done earlier. But for some reason now it kind of is clickbait, I guess, and it pays more probably. So about 2 weeks ago, these people I'm talking about, I started covering Manson again. I think it's funny because I mentioned it. I was like, what's up? What's up with these big channels that have way more reach? And oh my God, they have more influence. Why they're not covering this guy when they're putting all their energy on how innocent Johnny is, which I think he is. But why? I thought, why they're scared of the machine, of Hollywood. But I'm like, well, they're so scared. Why they're talking about Johnny over and over? And then I start thinking, it's because the Manson case is pretty icky. It's pretty gross. The allegations are horrible. And it's hard to talk about those things, and it's uncomfortable. But the boys didn't want to talk about it. So then it was on us to talk about it. And I think it's pretty weird. But okay, shade has been thrown. I mean, it's cool. Like, just keep doing it, please. But just remember that it was just us. Okay? There was only like 4 women talking about Manson for the last 5 or 6 months. Just saying. Just saying. So what happened? So after that, who popped out on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot? My God, freaking out of her narcissistic butt, freaking out about what Manson did, and kind of just throwing shade. And even she was even posting things about her mom. Like, even Rachel Wood is out of control. I don't know. She has a job, a very good job. And I don't know why she's more interested in this whole thing than her job as an actress in that TV show that she works at. Anyway, so she was throwing shade at Manson. She was throwing shade at her mom. She was throwing shade at her ex-husband. I mean, she just likes to do that. Like, she's putting so much energy on other people instead of herself. And I don't know her personally, so maybe we're all talking out of our ass. But I think there's something there of what I'm trying to say. And somehow, Evan, like she always does, she made it about herself. Because this is something that she'd done before every time. Even after Ashley Morgan and Ashley Walters go out there, I don't like those people anyway, but Evan always circles it back to herself. She cannot let anybody, not even the other victims allegedly, had any type of light. No, it's all about her. She's not out there on interviews supporting the girls, the women, Ashley Morgan and Ashley Walters. She never done an interview with them. She never talks about them. If they were so together and if they were so in the same page, you will think that she will try to do something to help all the people. For example, naming her second abuser, for example, or sitting down with other women and having a round table. up and talking about these things and trying to help women for reals. No, it's all about her, and she puts it back on her every single time. Every single time. Every single time. There's something controversial happening, she makes it about herself. Black Lives Matter is about her. Right? Ridiculous? Well, every single thing. And Esme does the same thing. Every time something happens in the news, they post it on Instagram. Like they're just trying to be heroes, so hardcore. And actually, they look like clowns more than anything. But my problem with Evan is what I have like 15 videos of her, because this is exactly my point. This is what I've been saying for months, that she is a narcissist and she's putting everything on herself over and over and over. Something so deep as an album that Kanye West made with his mom's name on the album, okay? And it's all about his mom, it's all about his spiritual journey and about the loss of his mom. She made that about herself, right? So for a second, she didn't even think about watching the video or searching, well, why Kanye made this album? Why, what's the name? What Don that means? It's the name of her, it's the name of his mom. And she's so tasteless and tone deaf that she had to make it about herself. They were not out there talking about RAPD women and abused women, and they were not out there being pimps, and they were out there, okay? Kanye was out there singing about his mom. So I find it really messed up and disrespectful and just straight up selfish and rude that she made this about her. She could have just been, she could just like shut up for now and maybe take some notes, and then when it's time, maybe talk about it. But no, she posted it right away during the weekend, and she went out of her way because she's not a touring musician. She doesn't have a band or anything. Well, she has this little band that she has with this guy that plays guitar with her, that they're being like together as a band together for about like 10 years anyway. That she goes around singing covers. She doesn't have any original songs. There's just covers. And she went out on Saturday night in LA, a little bar, I swear to you, like not a venue, nothing, and sang a couple songs, covers, mind you. And one of them was a song from the 90s from the group The Radicals, which I always hated that song because that song talks about Marilyn Manson and about Courtney Love, which are two people that I do admire and respect. You can say that. Courtney Love is one of the few people that did not unfollow Manson, by the way. I know. She always has been supportive of him. Not always, but for the last 15 years. So she went out on this little dive bar, okay, in LA, and sang a song. The song "You Get What You Get," you get what you give. That talks about Hollywood and it talks about rock stars and whatever, and it is about talking. It's pretty much talking shit. And in the moment that was like that part that she would have sang, Courtney Love and Marilyn Manson all hang out in their mansions, something like that. She went and did this. Like, how old is she? You know what I mean? Like seriously, oh my God, she flipped them off. She flipped off, and everybody was like, yay! Probably it was like 20 people on there. I'm telling you. I think that she just ran out and did that last minute because she's not touring with this guy. She plays guitar. She plays guitar. He plays guitars and she sings covers again. I'm gonna keep saying that because that just shows you the type of person that she is and how she's trying really hard to be relevant. But it's weird that this happened on Thursday night. Manson and Kanye doing this little collaboration thing on the stage, the listening party, and then she pops out on Saturday night. I'm not gonna play it because I'm not gonna just listen to her voice, and I'm not gonna give her one view. But yeah, at the Bourbon Room in Hollywood. It's a very small place, and TMZ was there to film, not to film it, but to report it, right? Report it after it happened. I'm telling you, there's probably like 20 people in there, and they're all like, oh my God. So she posted that on Instagram. Evan posted that on Instagram on Saturday night, and the caption says, "You get what you give," which is the name of the song. It's the name of the song. And then she says, "For my fellow survivors who got slapped in the face this week, I love you. Don't give up." Cool. And then she hashtag the name of the band and and herself, and saying Kanye, which is the guy who plays guitars with her, she didn't hashtag Esme Bianco, Ashley Morgan, Me Too, nothing, nothing. She didn't. You will think that she will hashtag them as well, or that she should just tag them on it. I don't even know if she follows them. Like, she is she is so. I mean, I just can't. I can't. You will think it. The caption says, "For my fellow survivors who got slapped in the face this week, I love you. Don't give up. You love them, and you're not even able to hashtag them or tag them." She could have I put Ashley Morgan and Ashley Walters, Esme Bianco. They're supposed to be buddies. They did the whole Phoenix act together. They drafted together, supposedly, and she's not even tagged on it. So that's kind of what shows you how she put this out of her butt on Saturday night in a little bar in Hollywood. And it's all good. I mean, that's the way that she's gonna fight the fight. That's pretty dumb and it's pretty immature. And she just flips it at the end. She's pretty much flipping her own audience if you think about it. So I don't know what this was about. And then people, oh my God, the choice of song was not a coincidence, because that song mentions Marilyn Manson and Courtney Love. They hang out in their mansion, something like that. I'm not gonna look it up. I always hated that song and that band. I think they're just pretty dumb. And anyway, she covered that, of all things she could have covered. And she wasn't even playing live the last, I think, since because of the pandemic and because of COVID, everything being shut down. So I don't know, maybe it's a coincidence she decided to go and play live the same weekend that Manson and Kanye were on stage. No, that's sus. Yeah, so she did that. So she just full circle back to herself, as she always does. And she made a few weird posts after that about her mom. I couldn't find them, and because I have followed her on my phone and my tablet, and this is my computer, so I couldn't. But anyway, I'm gonna do it later when I go live with this thing. And I know I look awful, but the thing is, like, man, like you can think, well, freedom of speech, everybody, that's her own page. She can post whatever she wants. And okay, cool. I still think it's so immature and so dumb. And it's flipping. Who she's flipping off? She's flipping off her fellow survivors. She's not tagged. She didn't tag them. She didn't hashtag them. She hashtagged the name of the band. Who cares, right? If we're talking about something bigger than you. But this is not bigger than her. This is the way she doesn't see this accusations in this case of horrendous, disgusting abuse as bigger than her. It's about her. And she didn't stop for a moment to think, oh wait, this is not Manson and Kanye going there and sampling Sweet Dreams and singing together. This is a listening party for Kanye West's album that is dedicated to his mother. And she, that's just pretty tasteless of her to just take it personal, I think. Tone deaf, like I said. And then Billboard, always so nice to people, and they're being against Kenya, they're being against everybody. Billboard was out there saying that Lana Del Rey was a racist. They were out there saying that Marilyn Manson was a racist. They always jump into anything, and they used to be a professional publication, I guess not anymore. If you look on Billboard.com and if you look on Kanye West and Marilyn Manson, everything is negative. And I'm not talking about just now because the allegations. I'm talking about like the last 10 years. There's nothing positive these people have to say. They talk about Taylor Swift and all, and all those people very in a positive light. But when it comes to rock and just, I will say, shock artists or whatever you want to call Kanye and Manson, they never have anything nice to say. Billboard magazine, the publication and the online publication were jumping the gun on Manson since like March 2020. So I'm not surprised. So they posted this, right? It says, after disgrace, shock rocker Marilyn Manson. Disgrace. That's like saying the same about Johnny Depp as a wife beater. That's the same thing. It's like, why are you calling people's names? Why? Why? Like, that is so unprofessional and so ridiculous when the guy hasn't even, been to court yet, like Johnny did. But you're calling him names. After disgrace, shock rocker Marilyn Manson appeared at Kanye's West Chicago Down That Listening event on Thursday night. On the field. It was a Soldier Field, it's called. Billboard has confirmed that the singer's voice will appear on the Acid and Schedule album as well. Yeah, I know that. I knew they were collaborating, but that is not the reason the mess was out there on Thursday night. Besides the collaboration, the fact that he handpicked him. He could have picked anybody else. He collaborates with a bunch of people. That's kind of how rap and hip hop goes. There's always like collaborations. So he could have invited other people too, but he chose him. I'm saying it is not a coincidence, because I don't think Kanye West does anything without thinking about it 100 times and making a show out of it. And he wants us to talk about it as we are right now. And this is good publicity for Kanye West and for Marilyn Manson. If you ask me, I think it's a positive thing. What is not positive is that Evan made it about herself one more time, and she didn't hashtag any of the other survivors. Anybody pretty much. She didn't even hashtag me too or I'm not okay or whatever. Nothing. She didn't. So that just shows you. I'm not saying a hashtag is like, oh, it's gonna save your life, but you would think that out of support she would do something like that. She would tag me or nope. She didn't. And she posted that on Saturday night. Flipping people off. Her own people, I guess. Because there was like 20 people on there. So it says Marilyn Manson voices feature on the Donda project. We don't know when the album's going to come out, but this is the third listening party that Kanye West has been doing around the country. And he does this shows. He puts on a show. He recreates his bedroom. He recreates his home from his childhood with a cross over it, and Manson under the cross. I mean, it was just so. I was looking at it and I'm like, people are gonna think this is pretty good or pretty horrible. I think it was good. I think it was a good, after not seeing the guy on stage. He was seen twice by the paparazzi walking around, but after not seeing him being canceled pretty much and seeing him on stage, whatever you think about Kanye, it doesn't matter right now, doesn't it? Really. If you put that aside and your own feelings about Kanye West, you see that this makes so much sense and it's good publicity for both of them. So from somebody who has been canceled before and who has been on the public eye, people are always talking about him, like I say, love him or hate him. It's kind of the same. They're very similar. And the fact that it was about his mom, I think is very similar to the Manson story with his parents. And Evan couldn't think like that for a moment. She just thought it was about her. There's nothing about her on that song, on that collaboration, on that stage. There's nothing that relates to her, to any other women, because Kanye's mom. That bugs me to hell. That bugs me to hell. That it's not like they were out there rapping and singing about abusing people or whatever. They were out there, he was out there singing about his mom. So maybe she didn't even know that. Maybe she didn't even look it up. Somebody sent her the video and be like, look, Manson is up. Maybe she thought that, I don't know what she thought, but she never keeps her mouth shut when it comes to it's her page. She can post whatever she wants, but because it's her page and it's public, then we can watch it and think whatever we want, and we can express ourselves. So it goes the same, it goes the same way. Like, she can post whatever she wants, but I can come here and say whatever I want. So I think it's fair that I don't agree with it. I think it was ridiculous. I think it was tone deaf, tasteless, selfish, and not even done well, because she didn't tag anybody else. It was just about her. So if it was a real survivor victim type of thing, and just being out there for her fellow women and trying to do something positive, she would just tag some of them or hashtag I'm not okay or whatever, or Phoenix Act, something. She didn't. Maybe she just forgot. I don't know. I think that she went there with a camera on Saturday night to a bar. It's not that hard to do for somebody like her, for a celebrity big as she is. Not that hard. And she just popped out 2 covers and one of them was very much just complete, just straight up against him. When Manson was on the stage, not opening his mouth, watching Kanye doing this with his head, not against her at all. And she feels like she was slapped on the face. I actually think it's a funny choice of words for her to say slap on the face. Do you think that's weird? That's sus, right? I thought that when somebody told me about her post, I was expecting to look at the post and expecting to see Esme on it and Ashley Walters. I thought it was going to be a post about all of them. No. It's just about her. It's about little Evie, And it's just messed up, man. And whatever you think about Kanye, whatever you think about, it's just, I still think the fact that there's more people talking about this than talking about her. So maybe there's a shift. Kanye got what he wanted it. He wanted everybody to talk about his listening party, and everybody is. But also people are talking about her and her reaction to it. So Billboard put it out there, Billboard.com. I hate these people. So that's when I'm not paying one dime for their newsletters and stuff, but I can just read what they put for free. The disgraced musician. I just hate that they call him that. That is on Manson saying disgrace, but they call Kanye West names before as well. A press time test West team had not responded. Yeah, what are they gonna respond to? What did he do wrong? What does he has to respond about? What? If they're friends or buddies or just musicians in general, that just like they know each other, why do they have to? Why Kanye West have to go and respond to what? Why does he have to go and just apologize? Because he put his friend up there in a moment that nobody else gonna put him on stage because everybody else canceled him. I do think it's kind of like what he has to apologize. I mean, they even, it's almost like they're asking for an apology in a way, because Kanye West has not responded for further details. She doesn't have to. Listen, they don't have to give you further details. This is his listening party. It's his album, and that is his whatever friend or just person he chose to be there on stage with him on the stage that is a replica of the house he was born and raised at with his mom. How is that about abuse? How is that about women besides his mom? How is that? You ask me, it's the opposite. It's very spiritual and it's cool. And so how is that about Evan or Esme, whoever? And why does Kanye have to respond to your request from Billboard to talk about this? He doesn't have to respond, and I hope he doesn't. And if he does, I hope he says something completely out there to shut them up. Because it's ridiculous. Like, what are you supposed to just give an apology or something? Manson wasn't there flipping people off or doing any on the image or stuff that Evan did. So I think it's funny that she said for the survivors that felt slapped on the face this week. Don't you think it's funny she used the word slap? Like slapping. I think that's weird as well. She's just weird. Anyway, no, she's not weird. She's selfish and she is tone deaf. Just like when she posted the Twitter about the guy being a rapist and he just died on an accident, just kill on an accident when the airplane went down, right, and all that with Kobe Bryant. And she chose that moment to say, well, yeah, he was a good guy and a father, but also he was a rapist. That's Evan for you. She just takes everything, whatever situation she could get, and make it into her own agenda, either herself as a person or her agenda, whatever it happens to be. This time, she didn't put anybody else on the tag. She didn't tag anybody but herself. This is a song that she picked that song on purpose because that song mentions Marilyn Manson, and not only that, but she just went out of her way. Because that's not her, like, oh, it's a coincidence she's touring with her band. No, she went out of her way, went up to a bar Saturday night. Like I said, it's not that hard. It's not that hard for somebody to go and be like, hey, I want to play some songs. Okay, cool. Like, it's not that hard. And she did it. And then she thinks like she's a smart. She thinks this whole thing is like, oh, I'm being a smart cookie. The fact that she was flipping at the end, and the fact that she didn't really explain, post a lengthy post about this and say, well, I feel hurt because this, and that. No, she just did it in a very mean girl, high school type of way. And again, did not tag any of her fellow survivors like she should have if this was about violence against women. But it's not. And it's not like Kanye West is out there singing about violence against women now, at least. And he's not there doing that with Manson. And Manson didn't even open his mouth, which I think is great. I think it was even more powerful that if he was there singing, collaborating with Kanye right there. I know they did it on the studio, but I think it's way more powerful that he was just standing there and just watching and just doing this. I think that was more powerful than him singing and just going and trying to make this show about him, like Evan did in her little performance on Saturday night. So I know this is all over the place, and I cannot post the video from Apple Music. The whole thing is like about 35 minutes, and then Kanye did the thing with Kim Kardashian. They recreated his wedding. I think the whole thing about doing listening parties, I think is pretty cool, because it's kind of like the artist can control what they do. It's not about the record label, it's about them, and it's a listening party. I think it's cool, and Kanye West is spending millions of dollars on these things. So trust me, this is calculated, and this is not a coincidence to get Manson on that stage, on his house, pretty much. It's almost like I'm opening the doors to my house, to you. Guess you're canceled, and I get it, because it's the same thing. People love him or hate him. I don't even own one Kanye West album, so I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh my God, he's awesome," and I'm so into him because he's friends with Manson. But I think that is powerful, and I do respect that he is on Manson's side, which is not a very popular thing to do, and it's not something that is gonna play well for him. Maybe, I don't know, because people are already talking shit. So I know Kanye wants people to talk about him, bad or in a good way. So it doesn't really matter to him because it's good publicity or bad publicity is at least publicity. But he's getting backlash already. There's YouTube channels about it. Not YouTube channels dedicated to that, but there's people on YouTube that are super ignorant. They don't even know the context of Kanye West album and the context of the listening party. They just don't know. And they're going there going like, Marilyn Manson is there with Kanye West out there on stage. So they missed the whole point. So there's already a lot of bad, negative reactions, but there's some good reactions as well. And what is important is that there's reactions, period. And I think it's way better to just stand up there with your makeup on and not say a damn thing. And I think that's more powerful than what she did this weekend with her post, and that she was posting about her mom. She just seems to be like, she's just going to go after anybody who pissed her off any time of her life. She's just mad. Just because you're salty about something, it's just like every time that she seems salty or bitter or sad about something that happened in her life, just go out there and start posting about it. Like she did it with Jamie Bell, her ex-husband. Talks about being a single working mother. We know. I mean, that is so much BS. Like she just, works 9 to 9 to support, her child, and she's all by herself, and that's not true. And I hate when people, women or anybody, but usually this is something that women do with motherhood. They do this whole like I'm a single mom thing out there, like it's like a badge of honor or something, and I am too. But but what do you want? Do you want an award? I don't know. And she's always posting stuff like that. She's always throwing shade to her own parents, to her exes. So I think it's time for her to just hit the therapy session and just talk about these things without, you don't have to post your life on Instagram like every second. Go out of your way to go and cover a song that talks about your ex, as many things that song talks about. It's a hateful song, period. It's not like she covered Pretty much she should cover like Sweet Dreams. It would be the same personal thing. She went out there and covered the song and just flip off at the end. God. And just like, a few little sheep there, a few little, people there, I don't know. But I don't know why you will actually be, if you don't like Manson, I get it. But why would you like her? Like there's a lot of people that don't like Manson, but just don't just like her the opposite because you have to like her, you have to be on her side. Like, do your research, bro. Seriously. If you want to believe Manson is guilty, okay, that's believe whatever you want to believe, but do some research on her and see what part she has on it and how guilty she might be on this of all the things. So, and still, if you still hate him, okay, it's all right. It's all right. But at least, just like the people that are covering this for the last 5 months, we go and talk about Esme, talk about Evan, because we're researching them, we're looking at all interviews from them. So that against the Manson haters, they should do the same thing. They should do the same thing. They should research Evan, and they should just listen to what she said in past interviews and the stuff that how problematic she is with everybody that she's been with, pretty much. So it could be Manson, it could be Jamie Bell, it could be anybody. She's against that because she woke up in a bad mood. Seriously, for her to go against her own mother, it's just weird. That's just beyond weird. I feel like, it's just like I said. If you're gonna hate, and if you're gonna believe that he did all these horrible things, then that's cool. That's on your brain. You can believe whatever you want, but do some research about it, and maybe you would change your mind, or maybe your mind will just be set on he's guilty, but at least know more about her a little bit. Don't just jump onto her like, oh, she is the victim. I don't think she is, and a lot of people don't think she is, and I'm glad the little big boys channels right now are covering some of this. It seems like Kanye West had to get involved for different channels to just pop on it, and that's cool, but it's a bit late. It's a bit late. They could have done this months and months ago, but maybe it's because of Kanye West pull. He is a big, it's just the same. It's like love him or hate him with him. So this is bringing so much publicity to Kanye listening party, but also to Manson, but also to Evan. So that's like the bad side of it, because then people can just pay attention to this, but also they can just go and be like, wait, I want to see what Richard Wood responded, and then then give it a bunch of clicks and give it a bunch of views and give it a bunch of attention, which is ultimately what she wants. If this was about helping women, her post would have been different, and she would tag some of these friends that she has, but she didn't. She just tagged herself. Just herself. Anyway, so yeah, they're expecting, Billboard expecting some type of answer from Kanye about why he did what he did, and there's no response. Of course, there's gonna be no. Preston West team had not responded to requests for further details of the unexpected collab on the album. It's not unexpected. They're so dumb. See, they don't even do their research. And this is a Billboard magazine. There's not an unexpected. Manson and West had done things before for years. This is not unexpected. And they're gonna think that Manson is collaborating with Kanye West right now because he's trying to piss people off. They did this a couple of years ago. This has nothing to do with Richard Wood or any of them. And so it's unexpected. It's not. It's not. It has also been a thing. They know each other. It's been a thing for a few years. So when they try to make it, they're trying to make it sound like two villains. It's so unexpected. They just like go and hang out with each other because they just want to hate against people. Dude, they've been working on that song for a couple of years, so just shut up. Oh my God, it just makes me mad. So Kanye invited Manson to the show in the midst of the shock record current legal issues. Exactly. That's the point, which includes lawsuits from 4 women for accusations of RAPE, sexual violence, emotional assault as well, claims for a number of other women, blah, blah, blah. And they make sure they have that on bold and you can click on it. You know, like the article, you can just read the article, but also the parts you can link and you can click on the article are the parts that mention Manson and the sexual violence and the R word. You know, it's not even about Kanye West listening party anymore. It's about making it against him, against Manson. So Manson denied all the charges in the lawsuits. Well, we know that. So there's a couple of pictures. It's very funny. Manson over there standing up, and just like doing this with his head. I think it's pretty cool that he didn't even open his mouth. You know, sometimes being silent is just the best you can do when you are. What are you gonna say? To such a, you know, circus. What are you gonna say? He's gonna say whatever he's gonna say in court. He doesn't have to go on his Instagram and post a bunch of crap. He didn't post this on his Instagram. This is something that he was invited to do. So, you know, in contrast of what she did, she was not invited to do anything. She went out of her way and did a cover of this song and started flipping off on that weekend. So what she did is completely intentional. And what he did wasn't that intentional. He just like showed up because he, you know, they're friends. This is not a new thing, actually. There's interviews that Manson says that he admires Kanye West. So I don't know why they're making it into, it's unexpected. You know, they want you to think that it's out of nowhere. Timeline of abuse, a lifetime of abusations. Abusations, that's a new word. Abusations, abuse allegations, blah, 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 blah. And they want you to link and click on all that. Totally. They're not even talking about Kanye West, you know, and the listening party, the album that is coming out. There's so much cloud against this because Kanye already did 3 listening parties again. I think 3. I think he did 3 of them, and they're very produced. And there's like one that he was in his bed, in his bedroom, and it was a replica of the bedroom. This one was a replica of his house where he grew up. Like the guy is putting a lot of money and thought on this. So you're gonna think that this was an accident, unexpected. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That this is completely calculated to send a message. I think. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm not the only person who thinks that, and I think that she knows that. That's why she got so salty about it. She knows that there's more. There's more, and she knows that Kanye West doing this is gonna get people talking about Manson, and she doesn't want anybody to talk. She doesn't want anybody to think any different. She doesn't want anybody to research or to pose any questions. She doesn't. So that's why she's mad, and she's posting things against her mom or whatnot. When I go live later, which I like doing, I know it's glitchy, but I like doing that because I can just do things at the same time and talk and make comments and chat and look better than this, which looks awful. It's kind of cool that I can just do this. But yeah, his makeup I think was also symbolic, and it was sending a message. Yeah, and I don't think I'm looking into things. It's a fan. No, I think this was not unexpected. This is not against Evan. This is a message, you know, and it's a good message, because let's not forget, this is about Kanye West and his album that is about his mother. So dude, you know, stop making it about yourself. You know, if you're going to make it about domestic violence against women, then tag a bunch of people and do a whole post about it and do something. Go do some charities. When was the last time that she did any charity work, or she went to any women's shelter and talked and did it? When? Like, for reals, like, if you know, let me know. Send me a link, because I don't think that she had done nothing to help all the people and all the women that do get abused. I don't think she done nothing. So even in her last post, it's about herself again. You know, Manson didn't post this. This just came out. this came out because, of course, it's Kanye West, so everybody's gonna talk about it. The same time that it was happening, people were already talking about it. That's kind of how I catch up. But I was like in the mid. I was like 2 in the morning when I saw it, and I was like, I should just get up and make a video, just because I was excited. But I didn't, and I waited all weekend, which is cool. And when I come back, we'll just go back to talk about her in more detail. Again, this is the best moment. I had a whole video plan on her and the last interviews that she did when she was working with Woody Allen, about how she likes dating older men, and that it works for her because she has daddy issues, and it's super healthy for her to date older people. I swear to you, this is a real interview. So I was gonna post that later. I was thinking about it, and then this happened on Thursday night. So I'm like, oh man. And then her post on Saturday night, singing that dumb song. I'm sorry. So if I like the song, I'll be like, oh, that's a cool song, but it was a dumb thing to do, and just flipping off and just being so, mature. How old she is? Like, she's like, what, like 30, 35 or something, and just going against her mom and talking again about being a single mother. And it's just really eye rolling to the sky. She needs help. She doesn't help. We all need help. All of us need help. So go to therapy. Go to church, go to therapy, meditate, whatever you need to do. But get on Instagram every time something pisses you off, and make it about yourself. She done this before with other things, with other controversies. Everything is about herself, from Black Lives Matters to something that was happening in Afghanistan to some shooting that happened. Everything she posts, and she just jumps in every boat she can. That is not because she's a social revolutionary person that she wants to help. It's because she just wants attention. That's what I think. Okay, if you think differently, that's okay. That's what I think, and that's why I can say whatever I want, and I can post if I want to, because that's what I think. And other people think different, but what I'm saying is, before you start jumping and making assumptions of who he is, and thinking that Kanye West did this because he is against women and he's an abuser or whatever, and then he's supporting Manson, another abuser. Before you do all that, why don't you search what Kanye West album is about, what the listening party was about, what Manson is about, what Evan has done in the past and has said. So after you do all that, and research Esme and all that, you still think he's guilty, that's okay. At least you've done something. But I feel like a lot of people just jump to it because it's the Antichrist, doing one more time, pissing people off. So I think it's just an easy thing to hate him. If that makes sense. I hope so. It's an easy thing to hate. It's hard to love, but it's very easy to hate. So, take that as you want. I'll come back later, looking like a human, not like a zombie like I look right now. Thank you. And go out there and support Coronel Card's channel and Carly's channel, which is the girl from the UK, that she is bloody awesome, amazing. And just go and watch them and give them a like and give them everything, to us women, because it's kind of funny that the big boys jump on it kind of too late. You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so thank you so much, and go Kanye. I guess, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Do your research, and make good choices and stay safe, and have a good week. It was Monday. Oh gosh, Monday. Anyway, bye.